Hi, intro students. We're going to go over our syllabus now. You should have at this point gone over your welcome video, your Google Classroom video, and now we're moving on to our syllabus. And this is linked right here under Intro Syllabus Spring 21. You can select it here. It's also going to be available under our classwork for future reference. Now, I'm going to open this up in a new tab. You can follow along if you want with a document or not. It's up to you. This is just some pertinent information like the title of the course, the CRN number, the format, my information. I have office hours. I'm going to try to be available Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 p.m. by appointment. Those are just open times. I'm not going to be sitting online, but if you shoot me an email, we can coordinate and make sure that we're online at the same time and service any questions you have. So link here back to our Google Classroom. Now, the course objectives I've gone over a little bit here. If you want to read through this, please do. But in general, this course reads a little bit like an introduction to arts course that in some institutions called art appreciation, but it also crosses into being what I think of as a visual and cultural literacy course. So hopefully that'll make some sense, because I like to approach like many of your honors courses, I bet, and if you've taken any of the integrative learning courses, I'm very invested in this idea of integrative learning. So finding ways that this conversation on this subject can integrate into your life, right? Not just be divorced from it, but actually be part of it. So keep that in mind. I have a general statement here that should make perfect sense to most of us at this point, but you know, just because we're online doesn't mean that we don't need to conduct ourselves with some clarity and with some mutual respect for one another in the course. We don't have an active meeting time for the course. This is completely asynchronous. So it's still though important that the content that you present and put on online in this course does exhibit respect for each other's race, gender identity, expression, sexuality, culture, beliefs, and abilities, and so on. If you're struggling at all with any of that, we'll have a conversation, we'll figure out what to do, but just keep that in mind. Now, outcomes are listed as part of the course. This helps you with transfer, so this isn't too wild, but it will help you if you need to get credit for this course, if there's any question of that when you go where you're going. There is a required text for this course. It's called Ways of Seeing. It's available on Amazon for very cheap. So if you go to Amazon, I've provided a link for it. If you look here, the paperback version used goes for, you know, $6, and buying new goes for $650, $670. If you want a hard copy of this book, feel free to purchase that. If not, I'm going to provide you with a PDF. There are a few of them online of the entire book. So if you want to read it digitally, you don't need to spend that $5. Okay. I also am going to use a text called Letters to a Young Artist, and I'm going to provide you those chapters as well. Now, in terms of evaluation, this is going to be in flux depending on how much we could get through in the course. Every class is a bit different. But your participation in class is going to be based on your ability to meet deadlines, and I'll describe those more in depth in a second. We have a couple quizzes, one at midterm and one as our final. They're not cumulative, so this will be for the first half of the course, and this will be from the end of that quiz to the end of the course. Now, we're going to do art assignments, so I'm going to expect you, and they'll be kind of tethered to our lectures and the topics that we're working on. You're going to make some artwork, and I'll have those listed as assignments and instructions and introductions and all the same stuff. We do have what's called a formal analysis paper. Because of the current state of the world, you're going to be expected to virtually visit a museum. Now, we're going to use Google Arts and Culture, which is a website that allows you to virtually visit museums all over the planet. And we'll go into detail when we get closer to needing to start that assignment. I'll do an introduction there as well. Now, attendance is mandatory, of course, but attendance in this course is going to be measured by meeting deadlines, which will be, in general, every Sunday evening there will be a due date, and every Thursday there will be kind of a short due date. Okay, so on Monday I'm going to generally present a new lecture with a short assignment, which will probably be some kind of response assignment for Thursday, and then you'll have an assignment that you're either working on or due on Sunday, and we'll have a way of checking in with that as well, either by turning in that assignment by its deadline, or based on our check-in. I'll have a check-in system that'll allow me to see where you're at with that assignment if it takes longer than a week to complete. All right. Now, if you're missing too many of these deadlines, 5 of those deadlines not met will lower your grade a grade point from B to B minus, for example. And then if you're missing 8 or more, it's an automatic failure for the course. Okay, you're just not meeting the deadlines well enough in order to complete and absorb the content. Now, please communicate with me. I'm very reasonable. If you're missing something, or you know you're going to miss a deadline, just let me know, and let's figure out what's going on and how to meet as many of those deadlines as possible. Now, late work is something I accept. All right, so turning in your assignments late will lower your overall possible grade for that assignment, but if you miss 2 late class, if it's 2 periods past, so say it's due on Sunday, was assigned on Monday, if you miss 2 more Sundays of that deadline, you won't receive any credit for that. All right. Now, in terms of quizzes, I'll introduce those quizzes, give you plenty of lead time, and we'll have a review leading up to it. So that'll all make sense, and the expectations of what will be on those quizzes will be very clear. This is more about the formal analysis paper that I will be going over more in depth, but it won't be having you go physically to a museum. Just keep that in mind. And I'll go over, again, all the minor details and expectations of that assignment. Now, the rest of this is academic policy, honesty policy, and some resources for Harper. So you have them if you need. Keep in mind, obviously, that campus isn't necessarily open right now. So any questions about any of those resources and access to them, please let me know, and I'll try my best to help. Any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. This is your syllabus. Feel free to reference it when you need to. And again, my information's here just as it is on Google Classroom.